Good afternoon everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about cheap living. Today it's the 11th of June 2026 and like you see I'm walking. So I want to talk about cheap living because I hear a lot of people saying that life costs way too much and everything costs way too much. And well, in a certain way things cost a lot of money, no doubt about that, but I think that we as people have way too much luxury. We buy things we don't need to impress other people, to impress ourselves, or to give ourselves a pat on the back because we went to work for a day or for a week and we think we are entitled to certain things. And I think if you can just cover your basic needs and live off the cheap for a couple of years, you are able to build something sustainable for yourself, something sustainable for you and your family, your partner, your kids, for the long term. Because let us be honest, we're all here for, well, I think 70, 80, maybe 90 years if we are lucky. And we are all looking to not work for 40 or 40 plus years. So how can you live off the cheap? Well, if you ask me, by cutting out a lot of bullshit. And what is the bullshit? Well, everything you don't need to actually live. That's the bullshit. I think if you have housing now, so a roof upon your head, that's priority number one. I think priority number two is food. Number three, clothes. I'd say four, some sort of heating. You also need something to do, like a hobby. So that's gonna cost you a bit of money as well. So there are certain things in life you have to prioritize. You have to make sure that they are well funded. That you actually have a roof upon your head. And not something that's from somebody else, but like your own place. You have to make sure that you're able to put food on the table. Like over here we have some corn growing, I think for animal food when it's bigger, somewhere in September, October, they will harvest it. So food, clothes, things to do. But actually people spend a lot of money on things that don't have value. Like cars, big vacations, going out to eat, Starbucks coffee every morning. That costs, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 euros or dollars. Things you can cut out. Or even on things you like to do. Like I like to cycle, like you already know. But my bike is 11 years old. And yes, I would like to buy a new one. Every year I say to myself, I'm gonna buy a new one. And every year I think to myself, I'm gonna save or I'm gonna invest that money. It's gonna get me further than that new bike ever would. And down the line I will buy a new bike, of course. But for now, I'm just gonna be the cheap fuck. Because I know that if you do certain things, after a while they start to add up. And look at these views. Amazing. It might rain later this afternoon, but I'm gonna get the miles in. I already got about 10 kilometers, I think. Gonna do a few more. But like I was saying, if you live on the cheap for a couple of years, let's say you're 18, 20, 21, you're done with school, you're going to work, try to stay with your parents, because that's the cheapest and the easiest option out there. Try to live as close to where you work, so you don't need a car. Don't go on that nice vacation, so you can save it. Do the things that you will be happy about in 10, 15, 20 years. Because actually saving today and investing today will help you in the future. It will add up. 100 saving or investing extra a month in a year, in 5 years, if you add that up, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of things you don't have to do in 5 or in 10 years or in 15 years. That's when you don't save the money, you will have to do. You will have to go to work. You will have to do what your boss says. You will have to do the extra time or the extra job down the line. You will, or you should, work until you're 60, 65, 67, whatever it is. Because you never thought about the future. And if that means being cheap today, being cheap tomorrow, being cheap for the next 10 years, go ahead and be cheap. I have some travel plans I would like to do, but if I'm lucky to live like 50 more years or something, then I will be able to do them all, and I will have the money, and I will be able to spend that vacation in a nice hotel, or drinking a nice drink, or doing whatever I want extra at that time. Because right now, when I'm young, I am cheap, and I was cheap. Like having a big car to show off at the stoplight actually doesn't bring you somewhere further than a €5,000 car, $5,000 car. It brings you to the same places. It brings you to those places dry and faster than by foot or by bike. So yeah, if you're young, live on the cheap, go camping because it's cheap instead of going to nice hotels, buy a cheap tent. One of my first tents cost me €20, which was actually nothing. Right now I have some better equipment because I can afford it and I'm already a bit older. But living on the cheap is very satisfying, because if you're working, you see the numbers grow and grow and grow, because you're saving and maybe investing quite a lot. So it's actually very, very satisfying, and it's satisfaction you don't have from maybe driving that brand new car, or going to that restaurant, or going on that far vacation, laying at the beach. That satisfaction you have from seeing the numbers grow and knowing what you will be able to do with that kind of money, with that kind of numbers in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. Because right now I'm starting to look at things different than 10 years ago. Because I have the options I didn't have 10 years ago. Because I saved, I invested, because I looked at the long term, because I lived on a cheap for a couple of years, more than 10 years actually. I'm still living on the cheap, but I'm already seeing the fruits of my labor, and living on the cheap is not something you have to do for 40 or 50 years. Do it a couple of years. Make sure you push out all the things you don't need, that actually don't bring any value at all, and use that money to do things that bring value and actual value, that have a meaning and will still have a meaning in 50, 20, 30, 40 years from now to you and to your family. Because we all go to work for ourselves, but also for our family, to be able to do nice things. So yeah, live on the cheap for a couple of years. Harvest the fruits of your labor after 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and then start living the good life. Get fat, lay at the beach with a cocktail in your hand, and enjoy life as a fat fuck. This is all for today. I'm gonna keep walking for a couple of more kilometers, 5, 10, I don't know, and then I'm gonna head back. Thanks for watching, and until the next one.